That's enough rambling. Let's go on to the third. So on a 4-note away major third, this is the distinguishing characteristic between a major key and a minor key. The third represents the fact that it's the third note in the scale. The fact that it says 4 notes away, that's the actual distance. 4-note away is a major, 3-note away is a minor, noting that when you're in the Mixolydian, the minor is basically the blues note, right? That's the added note that you can kind of play with. So that means so if we're going on to like this B, that's the major, you can kind of shift back here and kind of go and then like go into that B, right? That's going to be one of the things that you can play with if you're doing this Mixolydian, often bluesy kind of sound. Okay, so that means if we look for that over here on the same string, it's out here. So it's a bit more of a reach. This is why the major's a little bit more reachy this way. So I go up to here. So it's a little bit more reachy as opposed to if it was a minor. And then you could slide, right? Now that reach is a little bit easier to do over here because you don't have to reach quite as far. It's kind of hard to slide with your pinky sometimes, but if you're up here, that's about as far as a reach you can go because you have longer frets. But if you actually practice stretching your fingers, like just stretch your fingers, and then I think even an average sized hand like mine with, I don't have super stubby fingers, but also not super like long guitar fingers, you can reach it, I think. So if you practice that, totally doable. So we have that. Then if we go up, if I go up, then we're going to find it right here. So wait a sec, that's not it. What am I talking about? It's right here. And you want to use the orange for going up. Man, you should just start over. No, I'm not starting over. Okay, so then this is going to be, if I count this out, it's going to be -5, 4, it's going to be -5, and then 4, -5, 6, 7, 8. Why? Because if I'm going above, I have to look for the inverse distance. So if I'm looking for a 4-note away major third, 12 minus 4 is 8. So the inverse distance is an 8-note away, which would be a minor ninth. So the distance is going to be 5, -5, -6, -7, -8 is how I usually do it. So if I was over here, it would be -5, -6, 7, 8. So if I went from top to bottom, from the B to the G, it would be an 8-note away, which would be a minor 6. But if I go from the bottom to the top, it would then be a 4-note away major third. So that means that if I go up one string, the 4-note away major third will always be 3 frets back unless I cross the fault line. And by the way, just on this bluesy thing while we're doing it, you have the minor right behind it, right? So you could kind of play with that and say, there's the minor. And then try to slide into it. It's probably the not most common. Maybe I go from bottom to top. It's not the most common slide going from bottom to top on that one, but you can kind of see if you can work that in. So in any case, so if I go up one string, it's going to be 1, 2, 3 frets back unless I cross the fault line, which would happen on the B string. So if I was on the B string, then this whole tectonic plate would be shifting up, so it's going to be a further distance. So if I go up one string, the 4-note away minor third is 3 frets back unless I'm crossing the fault line, which only happens on the B string. If I'm going up one string, then the 4-note away major third, 4-note away major third is 1, 2, 3, 4 frets back. So hopefully I didn't totally mess that up terminology-wise and say the wrong thing again. Let me know if I do. You can tell me and tell me to be more careful. I don't want to learn the wrong thing. That's not good. So let's go up. What if I go up 2 strings? So once again, I'm looking for the 4 note away minor third, and I look for the inverse distance, which was 12 minus 4, so it's an 8 note away minor 6 distance. So it's going to be -5, -6, and then 6, 5. Wait a sec. It's going to be -5, -10, and then 9, 8. Let's count that up over here. So if I was here, it'd be 5, 10, 9, 8. So if I went from top to bottom, that B to that G, that would be a 8 note away, which would be a minor 6. If I go from bottom to top, that would be a 4 note away major third. And again, the minor third is right behind it. So if I was going to try to do my slidey thing, you know, I could play this whole thing. And if that B plays open, I mean, if that A plays out open, that's okay, kind of, because it's the second, or I can try to mute it maybe. And then I can be like, it's kind of funky sound. Doesn't sound quite right with that A. That A kind of messes it up, but it kind of works. Maybe I can put my finger over here and grab that F, which is going to be the 7, and see if I can still slide. Or you can mess with it. And the question is, should I use this finger? I might mute it easier, or this finger. Yeah, it's kind of something to kind of play with, I guess. But in any case, let's go below. That sounded horrible. I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm going to go down 1. We're going to go down to here. It's going to be -5 and then 4 back 1. So that's going to be the most common major third, most likely. So we go down 1 and back 1. So boom, boom. So that's going to be the 4 note away major third position. And so again, if I went back another 1, you'd have the minor, right? So now you can do this kind of thing. Maybe I could slide up from here to here. Be like, and the question would be, should I do it with this finger? Or this finger? So should I put this finger on the root or this finger on the root? And you can think about what you can reach up here either way. Something to play with, though. There's something there. If you were good at stuff, if like you can make it work, you can make it work if you mess with it long enough. So that means that if I go down 1 string, the 4 note away major third is always 1 fret back, unless I cross the fault line, which would only happen on the G string. In which case, if I go down 1 string, because this whole tectonic plate shifted forward, the 3 note away minor third would be on the same fret. Okay, so there's that. All right then. Let's go down to the next one. If I go down 2 strings and cross the fault line, it's going to be 5 and then 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. So let's count it out here. If I go down 2, 5, 10, shifting up, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 to the open B, Now that's interesting because you also have a open G right here, right? So I can play all 3 of those strings. If I just hold down this G, I can pick up that third as just an open, which is interesting. But here we're going to say if I go down, so let's say if I didn't cross the fault line, I would be like up here, which is going to happen if I go down 2 strings. I can be on the E or the A string and not cross the fault line. So if I was going here back, no, wait a sec, to here, right? So if I go down 2 strings, the 4-note away major third will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 frets back, or it'll be right in the middle, which means it would also be 6 frets forward. But if I cross the fault line, which would happen like 2 out of the 4 times I could do it, and I went down 2 strings crossing the fault line, then the 4-note away major third would only be 1, 2, 3, 4 frets back. All right, so let's do the next one. Let's go down another. So we're at the bottom one. So we can say, okay, so if I go down 3 strings and cross the fault line, it would be 5, 10, 15, 15 minus 12 is 3, and then 4. Counting it here, we can go 5, and then 10, 15, 15 minus 12 is 3, 4. So we have that. Now you could say, why don't I count it from the top? And it might be a little bit faster because it's only 2 strings up. You could do that because I could say, well, let me go up to this string because this string's the same as that string tone-wise. But to go up, I'd have to say, well, I want to look for a 4-note away minor third, so I have to look for the inverse distance, which is 12 minus 4 of 8. So it would be 5, 10, or negative 5, negative 10, 9, 8, and that would be the same down here. So I could think about it that way as well. And if I was going down here, could I play with this minor third? Like if I'm reaching down here and be like, I could try to mute everything. Or I could try to bar this whole thing off. Or maybe I go back to the third right here and see if I could still reach the third down here. Obviously, I haven't played with that much, but you can try to work in a a slide from the bluesy minor there. So if I didn't cross the fault line, I would have been like up here and then to here. Oh wait, that's crossing the fault line. If it would have to be on the top string, not to cross the fault line. I didn't want to get too close to the other one. But if I didn't cross the fault line, then and I go down 3 strings, then the 4-note away major third will be 1 fret forward. But if I cross the fault line, which is going to happen 2 out of the 3 times I could possibly go down 3 strings, crossing the fault line, going down 3 strings and crossing the fault line, the 4-note away major third will then be pushed up, pushed out with the tectonic plate to be 1, 2 frets forward. All right, makes perfect sense. Let's go to the next one. So we have the 5th on the next one.